Oh, that's weird. Also, thank you for the bits, Bay. I appreciate that a lot. Snap! More snapes. Snap for the snap god. Hello. Hi. Hi, how you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a very decent day, very decent week. Oh boy, I've had an interesting couple of days here. I don't want to go into too much detail, but let's just say that I had one day, that was yesterday, that was just like, all of the things, nothing can go right. It's just kind of one of those, it's just like, hey, you know, like these 3 things that have come up and like completely inconvenienced you, let's add 5 more. You know? And that's what it kind of comes down to, is just like, it's a lot of inconveniences. But after a while of them like stacking up, you're just like, what the fuck? Help! Also, look at all the snaps! Yay! I suppose I should bring out Snap. You have summoned him. Give me a second. What? There we go. Hey, buddy. Just rotate the guy. And put him on the face. Hello. You doing good, Snap? Eh? There we go. Adorable. Doing meh. Cleaned a lot today and about to start laundry. Mood! That was actually one of the things that I was trying to get done the other day. I was just like, okay, the weekend is here. So that means I am going to go and do a whole bunch of things and be very productive and all these things. And then I kept on running into like little hitches that required me to like go through several other hoops to be productive. And I ended up being pretty productive yesterday, so, you know, I don't know what the heck I'm complaining about. But I guess after, like, the entire day and all of, like, the frustrations and the annoyances, I was finally like, I'm done. I'm tired. I can't deal with this. I cannot jive. Look at all the, what? Is that a bull? Is that an adorable bull? It's Demon Fox. Hello. Got motivation because my partner is coming over on Wednesday. Heck yeah, man! I hope you have lots of fun. Here. There is nothing more enticing when it comes to cleaning a place than like, oh no, significant other, shoot. Let's see. Also, we got some people over in the YouTube chat as well. Hello. Thank you guys very much for coming in. Thank you very much for the bread. I appreciate that a lot. Although it's a heck of a lot of carbs. I need to avoid that right now. Yeah, tasty. Also, Happy says, you know what happened to me a few days ago? Yep. God, you were talking to me earlier about this. A few days ago, almost couldn't say hi because I didn't reblog into my account on my phone yet. Oh, yeah, right. Well, like, you were talking about, like, the really frustrating thing that happened to you recently. And, oh my God, that's one of the big reasons why I do the internet safety thing. Because I'm just like, oh no, people should probably be aware. Like, the one and only thing that could possibly keep you from, falling prey to any sort of, like, stuff like that is just knowledge. That's it. Hey, Maple is here. Hello. I decided to go, oh, yeah, to do what you do. Paper is the best way to go. Yeah. I mean, if you have a lot of accounts online, it can be difficult to do the whole paper thing. But I think it's kind of a good idea. Considering, like, anything that is digital that you put on your computer or, like, on anything, like, even if you decide to, like, put your passwords on, like, a USB stick, like, independently off to, like, the side of your hard drive or something like that, off the side of your computer, like, technically speaking, I'm wondering whether or not, like, those, if you have, like, Word files or something documented there, I wonder whether or not those are, like, cached anywhere on your computer, and then somebody might be able to, like, snoop on those. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those, like, I don't want to leave it to chance. And I know that, I did make that one internet safety video talking about, like, password managers. Technically, you can do password managers. But, like, unless you're the kind of person that's extremely stubborn, who's just like, oh, whatever, but one password for everything. If you're going to go and do a one password for everything already, I think I'd prefer that you use the password manager, because at the very least, like, the password manager will make a bunch of, like, very descriptive passwords actually, like, really individualized and really, like, encrypted passwords for all of your stuff, so that, like, okay, one password means that you could potentially have, like, I don't know, LastPass or whatever the heck, I don't know. You could have that password be stolen, and then all of your passwords are stolen. Like, yeah, but at the exact same time, it's just like, well, also, like, the chances are, I mean, I guess that they're somewhat up there, but I don't know. I guess, like, there's a little bit more protection in that, instead of, like, making your one password for every single one of the accounts you have on the internet. In that case, it's only one place, and everything else is really secure. I'll take the lesser of two evils, I guess. I feel stupid I fell for it. Do not feel stupid that you fell for it. At the end of the day, like, any scams, whether it be internet or otherwise, it's all about, like, confidence schemes and social engineering. And unfortunately, social engineering is something that we can all fall prey to. It doesn't really matter. Like, even I could fall for something. Like, little old paranoid me, who gets really paranoid when it comes to anything internet security, I could fall for something. I mean, heck, I told that one story that one time where I wanted to go and look up a YouTube 4K downloader, because I was lazy, and I was just like, I don't want to have to deal with, like, random old programs all the time, and, like, I'm sick and tired of the one that I'm using. I want to swap to a different one. And I picked it up, and, like, I picked it up because I looked into a forum, and the forum was recommending that I should use it, and the forum was being used actively by a lot of members, and several people had recommended it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sounds good. They even had a section on the forum that was like, it was like a collection of a whole bunch of the common tools that people use. I saw it, and I'm like, okay, common tool. A lot of people seem like they use it. All right, I'll grab it. And so I downloaded the thing, and I started the install for it. And this was around the time that I did have, like, some internet security on the computer, so I wasn't completely stupid. I figured I'd have some sort of protection, or the computer would stop it and be like, bad juju, do not download. But anyway, I started the install, and then all of a sudden I started to notice that there were, like, extra pop-ups for other installations that were starting to show up on my screen. And I was like, wait, no, I don't want to install this. I don't want this weird, like, music playing software that, like, gives me pirated music. This is confusing. What's happening? And then I started to notice that, like, icons were starting to appear on my desktop at complete random, and I'm like, I did not install that. And, like, my computer was slowing to a freaking crawl. I'm like, I'm in trouble. What do I do? Luckily, like I said, I had internet security, and I think it was Avast at the time. That was around, like, Avast when Avast was actually good. It basically ceased all processes and basically went, hi, we've detected that you've just had a whole bunch of random stuff get installed on your computer, and I'm going to make the assumption that you didn't want to install those things at rapid succession. So, if you want, we can go ahead and we can shut down the computer, and we can start doing a cleanup and also a registry check, so that we can, like, wipe it clean before we start the computer, and so we can make sure that this doesn't happen again. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you very much. It's like, I was saved that day. As much shit as I give Avast did save me. I would have lost a lot of files if that had gone on. Also, Mapley has posted picture of horse. Peter. The horse. Better to start installing it on a virtual machine or a burner laptop. I don't know, I guess. I don't know. Nowadays, I've kind of moved towards, like, a lot more open source software options, which that doesn't 100% guarantee that you're not going to end up getting infected by something. But at the very least, it means that, like, anything that does get committed to a GitHub is, like, it leaves a lot of people, like, under a heavy amount of responsibility, Also, Connor is talking about 2 new Scratch projects. Only one of them is a part of one. That one is a comment animation. Interesting. Okay. Unless the servers are down. I guess. Funniest part, though, was that the scammer had to hand me 3 files because it didn't want to work the first few times. I think it did, though. My Discord and browser closed briefly. Oh, boy. Yeah, so that's definitely one of those, like, you change your passwords, and also if you don't have 2-factor authentication, you get that set up, like, now. Because, oh, boy. That's scary stuff, man. I'm glad that you turned out okay. Like, something like that, you could lose a lot of things. I would definitely recommend if you have, like, bank stuff connected to that computer, you should also look into bank stuff. You know, a helpful thing from me to you. I will say, the only bank stuff that I have is, I have, like, the app on my phone. I don't have it on my computer. Because I'm just paranoid in that way. Change my PayPal password. Good stuff. All right. Yeah, I don't use, like... I try my best not to log into my bank via my computers, just because I feel like if there's anywhere that could potentially be vulnerable for me, it would be my computers. I tend to be pretty, like, reserved when it comes to anything cell phone related. Like, a long time ago, I used to download a whole bunch of fun mobile apps. You know, I used to, like... You know, whenever there was a really cool new app that came out that was just like, whoa, like, I want to pick it up. I want to go get the thing. Yeah, a funny little face filter. Sure, let's download it. Oh, hey, Pink, how's it going? Like I said, I changed 79 passwords. Christ. What sucks is that, like, we live in an age where 79 accounts might be necessary. If the stream is still going in an hour, could you remind me to flip over laundry? I'm too lazy to put it on a timer. Put it on a timer! I'm not your timer! Shut your mouth. Apparently we lost some frames at one point. I don't know when that was. Was that recent? Nope. Ah, dang it. I almost pressed exit. Thank you, OBS. Okay. Lots of older forum accounts. Ah, yeah, that's fair. Well, that just raises the question: are any of those are those forums really still around? My God, it's weird to think. Anyway, will do. You struck motivation into me. Good. Go do the thing. Anyway. Oh, but yeah, yesterday that was annoying. I'm not going to go into detail about everything that happened yesterday that was obnoxious, but I'll get into one particular thing. I always was hyping some older... Wait. I was always hoping some older sites wouldn't exist, but they fucking do. Ah, okay. Well, what are you going to do? Been getting so many likes on my tweets with Vivian from Paper Mario. Yeah, I saw that. That was really adorable. It's just like a baby little pink. Timer set. Good stuff. Anyway, do I still have this one picture on my desktop that I made a while back? Let me see if I can find it. It's probably not anywhere around here, but couldn't hurt to check. I think, like, since then, I have definitely, like, wiped my my desktop here. It appears I have not. By the way, if there's anybody who is currently, like, squatting on the stream and waiting for me to, like, you know, join into a group call, I might join into a group call sometime in a little bit. It's just kind of one of those, like, I know for a fact that the second I jump into a group call, we're not going to have any kind of structure or stability with the conversations at all. Like, we are all going to be very distractible, and you know, there will be no choice. So I'll jump in as soon as I, you know, feel comfortable. And basically when I'm like, well, I've basically said my piece. We done. Here. I need to pull up these pictures just because, like, they are absolutely relevant. And you guys should definitely get an eyeball of it. I don't think I'm going to pull up all the pictures. I think I'm just going to pull up enough that, like, it makes the point, you know, it gets the point across. There we go. Do I need to pull up any more pictures aside from this? I think that's about it. Think so. Maybe I should make a secret compartment in my drawers, like Light from Death Mode. No, that'd be fun. I hear Hollow Knight music. Heck yeah, man. Looking forward to Silk Song. Baby Pink was actually like a chibi form back then. My Sona really evolved. It's like a Digimon or a Pokemon. And that depends. Can your current form devolve back into baby form? Because if that's the case, then it would be a Digimon. If not, it's a Pokemon. Anyway. So, do you guys remember the filament fiasco that happened a while back? More bread. Anyway, yeah, the filament fiasco that happened. Compartment would explode if opened incorrectly. That sounds like a Death Note thing. Me in the corner playing a Bungie game. Stop tempting me! For God's sake. Silk Song is a myth. It will never happen. It's like I do know that the FNF community, I haven't really been doing much with like Friday Night Funkin', but the meta of that is basically like, you know, the game is never going to come out. Game will never come out. Won't happen. Ain't happening. And then when any sort of updates happen with the game, people are just like, holy shit, the game is real. We're getting it. We're getting in the game. Because, like, I don't know. It's the old Newgrounds immaturity and of making jokes and just being like, you know, shit disturbers. I know the meta. Anyway. Do it. Okay, right. So, the filament fiasco. I've been talking about a heck of a lot on my streams, but I have been getting a lot into doing 3D printing. And I just recently picked up that 3D printer. Big reason why I have been so interested in it as of late. And when I picked it up, I decided to pick up a selection of filaments just to get myself started up. And one of the filaments that I got was this nice burnt titanium color, which is really cool. I really do like it. But the problem I ran into was that I picked up 2 rolls. However, one of those rolls was not okay. Working on a horror game. Oh, ooh, very neat. Squash those bugs. Anyway, so again, just as a refresher, just to show you guys what I'm talking about here. Here is a picture. There, this is a picture of what the box is supposed to look like when you get it. Yeah. Airy one. Which is an okay brand. I have no idea like what the difference is between them. Honestly, I think it's just a case of who's doing it cheaper. What horror game are they working on? Yeah, Connor, are you working on a horror game that's like based in Scratch, or are we talking like a Roblox thing, or airy one? Anyway, yeah, that's the brand that I went for, and that's what the box is supposed to look like. And this is what the box looked like for the other one. Okay, now one, you can definitely tell that box is like a lot darker in color, and it's particularly stained in an interesting way. And also, if you look at those trails, like, you know, the weird like stripes of like weird wetness going on there, it kind of looks like a handprint. So somebody had their greasy ass hands on it. So yeah. That's not okay, clearly. And then, oh, it got worse. I opened it up, and I found out that there were a whole bunch of little problems. Now, first of all, the roll that I found inside of it was not vacuum sealed. And one thing that you should know, PLA, which is like a type of plastic that you can use for a 3D printer, it's very susceptible to like little tiny amounts of wear. And it's, in general, it's not good to keep it around water. Like, water is the main thing. Like, water kind of like, it's a little bit of a, I'm not going to say it's a solvent, but like, definitely you don't want to have it anywhere around 3D printed objects, at least like until they're completely done, and maybe after you shellac it or paint it. So yeah, having them vacuum sealed before you get them is extremely important. And I didn't get that. I ended up getting, like, that roll ended up coming in like a plastic, like, zip sealed bag that was just loose and crappy and things like that. Did someone eat pizza while they were delivering that box? right? Did somebody like, was there a pizza inside the box? Well, unfortunately, no, there was no pizza inside the box. But let me show you what was actually inside the box. By the way, I took these pictures on my bed. Oh, that's another thing I did yesterday. I cleaned up my my bedspread and made it all like nice and clean. It's a nice place. At the end of a very hard day, it's a nice thing to take a little bit of a comb on. Anyway, so this is what it is supposed to look like. Again, nice, vacuum sealed, and it's a nice full roll, right? That's the roll that I ended up getting. Now, first of all, it's not even like the right color. It's like, I think it was called like agate gray or whatever the heck. It's completely freaking used up. Like, there's barely anything. There's like vapors of plastic that's on that thing. It's clearly an older roll. Like, they're not using the exact same type of, like, you know, those exact same type of rolls. Either that or it's like a different branch of the company. I don't freaking know. But like, and again, not vacuum sealed at all. Clearly this thing's freaking used. So like, yeah, that was basically the filament fiasco. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I had a little bit of a theory that I had with that thing. That's like 2/3 missing. It's more than that, actually. If you factor in the fact that, like, as the roll, like as the filament runs out on the roll, like the roll slowly gets faster and faster and faster because like it's unwound like most of what's on it. So I would say it's more like an 1/8. There really wasn't anything. Crime. That is crime. What the hell? Well, here's the theory as to how I think that happened. My guess is that there's somebody who is running some kind of a 3D printing racket. I don't know. Maybe they're like making 3D prints like for clients, or maybe they just, you know, they're stingy and they really want to have free 3D prints and stuff. And so they order a brand new roll, but then they contact Amazon and say, oh, guys, sorry, we accidentally bought one too many. We're going to go ahead and send this back. Thank you. And so then they take one of the previous rolls that they bought, aka, you know, Mr. Yahoo over here. They take that. Oh, dang it. That's a desktop. Brr. Luckily, there's not much over there right now. It's basically just a whole bunch of 3D printer files. Anyway. Sorry I'm late. Hey, don't worry about that. Anyway, they take that freaking roll, and then they stuff it into just a loose cardboard box they have sitting around, aka this thing. And then they ship it back over to Amazon being like, oh yeah, no, this is totally the one that we bought, guys. Don't worry. And then Amazon, being way too nice, will take their word for it and be like, okay, well, since it's never been opened, we definitely want to make sure we put this back on the shelves where we found it, and then we'll just go ahead and sell it to the next person that buys it. AKA. And I think that is how I ended up getting that roll. Hello, desktop. Illegal 3D printing speakeasy. Right? So anyway, yeah, that was the fiasco. However, I had contacted Amazon and I had basically told them, hey, this happened. I would like to return the item, please. Thank you. And they're just like, all right, sweet. Go ahead. We, you know, here's the tracking thing. Here's the, you know, just drop it off at a UPS. And then, you know, we are going to go ahead and send you a replacement roll. And I was just like, okay, that's really cool. And they put in an order for a replacement roll, and they straightened that out pretty smoothly. Because like I ended up getting the replacement roll way before they ended up getting the you know, the roll I was complaining about, which, you know, that's kind of nice. And then the extra surprise is that a couple of days, I believe, after I had dropped the roll off at the UPS store, they basically refunded me. Like, not the entirety of the purchase, only for that one roll. But still, like, I'm just like, oh my god. What am I drinking today? Just some water. Simple water. Again, trying to watch my weight. Anyway, yeah, they completely refunded me for that roll because, yeah, they kind of fudged up on that one. I was just like, oh, that's sweet. Okay. So they replaced the roll and they also gave me a full refund for the roll. That's okay. You know, that's fair. That's good. Everything is all sorted out. Everything's right with the world. Nothing can possibly go wrong at this point. Cue a couple of weeks ago. Cannibalism, I see. Hey. I don't judge you for you know, devouring the flesh of animals. I do that too, but you know. Yep, Demon Fox says the exact same thing. Are you drinking yourself? Hey, come on. Water elemental got to stay hydrated. Think about it. My computer just broke and it had all of my stuff for the show I'm working. Oh, that sucks. Do you happen to know somebody who is like, you know, really well equipped to be able to, you know, potentially either fix the computer or figure out a way to move those files onto a new computer? Kind of hope so. I'm rooting for you either way. I have an idea of what happened. They were driving it and then bum, crashed, and there happened to be a pond. And it went in, and some of it got out. That is a cartoon logic concept, and no. The thing was on fire! Jesus! Oh my god. I mean, well, you can do data recovery off of that, but holy shit. Once again, I'm rooting for you. Did the Mac burn? Holy fuck. Alright. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, right. A couple of weeks ago, I got an email from Amazon, and they were basically saying that they did not get the package. And they were saying if I don't send that package back to them, they are going to charge me for the full amount for that roll. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about? Of course I sent it back. Like, I literally, you have the tracking number, you have the information, and you know when I sent it in, as well as you also gave me a notification saying that, hey, return successful. So what the fuck? What are you talking about? Oh, apparently a Mac burned at your work. Interesting. I have everything on a USB. Wait, saved on a USB. It won't work. Oh, that's creepy. Jump scared myself. I joined a friend's server voice call, and I forgot I had the metal pipe join effect. Oh, God, that is the worst idea possible. Discord, why? I mean, look, I have trolled, and I have jumped into calls with, like, you know, meme sounds in the past, too. Recently, in fact. But, like, that just seems like chaos. Anyway. Yeah, so Amazon basically said just like, yeah, no, send us this package back or we're going to charge you. And I'm like, no. Like, I sent it back. This should not be a problem. And so, promptly, I immediately contacted customer service. And I contacted their text line. And I basically told them exactly that. Where I was just like, no, I have absolutely sent it back. Like, 100%. And I don't know why I am being, you know, basically threatened. Like, you know, give us our thing back or you won't get your money. Like, or, you know, we're going to take your money. Please, I don't know what's going on here. And the lady that was, you know, doing the whole customer service thing, the way she put it was basically like, oh, don't worry. Look, that was probably an automated email. We're not going to be charging you any amount of money if you have made a return. So, yeah, just don't worry about it. Ignore the email. You're fine. And I was just like, okay, all right, fine. I guess I'll just wait. That's fine. So, yeah, I was just like, all right, fine. Cut to yesterday. I go and I check my phone, and I get a notification from my bank saying that I've been charged the amount that I bought that, like, you know, that roll for. And I was just like, oh, ignore it, eh? Huh, okay. At this point, I'm done with trying to talk with somebody via text line. So instead, I contacted Amazon's phone line, which, by the way, phone lines are frustrating as hell. Like, I try and keep my cool as much as I possibly can on phone lines because I know that the people are working those phone lines are probably dealing with a lot of angry customers at all times. But it's like phone lines are literally designed to just completely piss you off over time. And I remember I ended up trying to contact and call the place, I think 3 separate times. I'm trying to remember what exactly made me like disconnect from any of them. I think I disconnected once because I couldn't figure out the phone system like at first. They have a really stupid like talk to the AI thing where it's just like, you know, just tell me what you need, or like it'll give you a set of instructions on what you need to do. Amazon's never reliable because they'll try to get more money out of people. I would say it's the exact opposite. I think that Amazon is really, really friendly when it comes to customer service because, you know, if they don't have customers, well, then they're not making any money. And the last thing they want to do is alienate the customer. The customer is actually the person who is okay in most scenarios. It's the workers that are kind of being raked to the coals because, you know, I mean, mostly the reason why this kind of stuff happens is because the workers are not being paid nearly enough money to care. So, you know, that's my take on it. But anyway, so yeah, I ended up like tripping through the call system, and I eventually found out that literally the way that you get in touch with an actual representative is you just keep on saying, I want to talk to a person. Like, literally, don't deal with the rigmarole. Don't deal with, like, you know, talking to the machine. Just say, I want to talk to a person. I want to talk to a person. And eventually, the machine just goes, okay. And then it'll, like, redirect you to whoever. Which, you know, that's fun. But then, I finally did get in touch with a person. And I ended up, like, being traded between 3 different people. At which point, I had to, like, you know, discuss exactly what the issue was with each one of them. Because, again, when it comes to call centers and things like that, it's, you know, unfortunately, everybody is all separated and nobody 100% knows exactly what you're going through except for, like, the person that you are talking to directly. I'm kind of rambling on here. What I'm trying to say is, you know, when you give all of the details and information to one person, and then when they transfer you to, like, the next person, now you have to go through that spiel again. And the problem is, I got a long-ass spiel, because I've been going through a whole lot of it. And you kind of need to know all of the context in order to do anything about it. So finally, I ended up, like, getting in touch with, like, I think the 3rd person on the line, and they were in charge of billing. And so I started giving them the spiel about exactly what happened, and, like, you know, what the problem is, which is very specific. And I don't know, it might have just been, like, you know, there might have been some kind of interference or, you know, some, like, freak accident on somebody's end. But I got hung up on. And I'm sitting there just like, you did not fucking just do that. Like, the call quality sounded real good. I'm in good reception right now. I'm literally home. Like, you did not just hang up on me while I was trying to explain the problem. Maple Leaf says, I get it mainly because I work at a call center. I know, right? Anyway, I try to be really nice, though. As nice as I can possibly be. Eventually, I did manage to reach somebody that actually genuinely seemed like they knew what they were talking about. And, you know, I gave them the information for what had happened and, you know, why I had called that day. And finally, I was able to figure it out with them. And they're just like, okay, yep, nope, that makes total sense. Like, we apologize that we charged you for that item again. We're going to go ahead and issue a refund. That's going to end up in your account within the next 8 to 10 days, which that kind of stings because I'm just like, that you took that money when I specifically called you guys and you told me you weren't going to take the money. I'd like to think that maybe you can transfer it a little faster than that. But unfortunately, you know, I know how these things these work, so I'm just like, whatever, man. Whatever. I mean, at least I'm getting the refund, and I know that, like, you know, I'm complaining about it isn't going to make the refund happen any faster. So I'm just like, okay, you know, that's fine. Though I did ask the question of how did this happen? Like, why? Because I had sent the package back. So, like, how the heck did that, you know, why is it that Amazon was just saying, no, you haven't sent it back. No, we haven't received it. You know, we're going to charge you if we don't get it. Like, why did that happen? And the guy actually gave me a pretty good explanation for it. And that is, he believes that the package didn't ever get shipped out by that UPS store that I ended up stopping by. His theory is that it got to the UPS store and that, you know, they scanned the item in, so they knew that the item was in the hands of the UPS store. But he thinks that the UPS store didn't actually get the package out, or if they did get it out, it ended up being lost in the mail. And thanks to that, Amazon basically looked at that and said, oh, it never received, you know, it never got received by our distribution center. Therefore, they didn't send it in. Therefore, we're going to charge them. Which is, like, that's kind of what I'm thinking happened there. Although, like he said, I've gone on record to say, no, I've totally sent it out to them. And also, they do have they have it on record that the tracking number was used. So clearly, it's out of my hands now. UPS is at fault. So he's just like, yeah, you should not be, you know, held on the line for that. So we're gonna go ahead and refund you. We apologize. And I'm like, good. That's good to hear. Thank you. So yeah, I swear, that friggin' roll of filament is just, it keeps haunting me to this day. Even when I think I'm done with it, it comes back to boot me in the crotch. I just want to have my funny filament so I can make silly meme things and also maybe practical things when I think about it. And also Silver is here. Hello. But yeah, that was one thing that was frustrating. That is one thing out of a total of like 4 things that ended up happening yesterday that were really frustrating. Not 100% on par with that, but like it was up there. I was like, man. And that's exactly why I decided not to stream. Because you guys know that I've been having these really weird like dropouts lately on the internet. Heck, you probably noticed once or twice the frame rate dip a few times during the stream tonight. And not like just sporadically. It just happens out of nowhere. The worst of it happens on Saturdays. And all this happened yesterday. A Saturday. So I looked at, you know, the possibility of me doing a live stream. And I was just like, there's no fucking way I'm going to try that right now. Because I'm like, you know what? If I attempt to try and do a live stream, I'm pretty sure the universe is going to do something even worse. Like, my computer is going to explode. My internet today was whack. Oh, really? Like, are we talking just like random dropouts, or is it like, you know, technically it works, but like it's just low quality? Slow upload, slow download. So many weird problems with the internet. Weird. Ari. But anyway, we're here now. And I am kind of blowing off steam by hanging out with you guys. And I appreciate you guys coming out a lot. I'm having fun. Shit quality on YouTube almost all the time. That is freaking weird. Is it specifically only YouTube? I'm thinking of... To be fair, it rained the whole day. Oh. So wait, do you have like satellite internet? Because that would make sense. I got me some cable. Nice, stable connections. Oh, man, that's just reminding me, though. I remember one time in the early days of higher speed internet, I remember my family tried Clearwire. That was a mistake. That was a shit-tastic mistake. If you don't remember what Clearwire is, or if you don't, like, if you've never had it, Clearwire is basically like wireless internet that, like, it's basically satellite wireless internet, and it's supposed to be like, you know, they advertised being like, oh yeah, you could totally get cable speeds, but like, you know, none of the cable price. Yeah, technically you do get that, but you're also like rolling the dice on whether or not like you end up getting good signal that day. And you know, it's satellite, so obviously when it's cloudy, when it's rainy, when it's like really windy and the trees are blowing around a whole bunch, you're not going to have really good internet. When will you make a music info for the stream? I apologize. I've really been dragging my feet on that. You're right about that. I do need to come up with a much more like refined and dignified way of having music show up so that you guys like know what's playing. At the moment, we are currently listening to a little Cave Story track. I believe this is Gestation, if I remember right. It's a Gestation from the Cave Story Remastered soundtrack. By the way, I just found out that Cave Story is celebrating its 20-year anniversary. Dude! Freaking awesome. God, that game's old. Ancient thing. Anyway. Oh, yeah, right. So, I remember I played really early Xbox Live using Clearwire, and wow. That was not good. Like, the rubber banding happening with my internet was so insane. I remember one time I was playing one, like, kind of open... It's kind of like, you know, a wartime shooty thing. And I had gotten from, like, one part of the map, and I started, like, running to another part of the map. And I had just... I was almost at the checkpoint, and I was going to attempt to try and steal it. But just before I managed to get over to the checkpoint, my character just started launching himself backwards from, like, the direction that I was going. And I was like, what is happening? What? And then I finally stopped. And where I stopped, I was standing right in the middle of, like, a pillar. So for some reason, I guess my character ended up getting stuck on this pillar about, like, 3 minutes ago. And the game hadn't registered that I had gotten stuck on that pillar until, like, just then. It was amazing. And funny enough, I kind of missed that. It kind of made me wonder, like, is there a way that somebody could make a video game, except make the video game entirely about, like, lag? And, like, God, wouldn't that be fun? Well, I mean, okay, it'd be frustrating fun. But wouldn't it be fun for somebody to make, like, a video game, except the entire point of it is you're basically playing a very glitchy, laggy character? And the entire idea is you're attempting to try and just play the video game, whatever it might be, while also trying to, like, work out a plan, like, how to actually get through it with how glitchy you are. And, like, yeah, you know, obviously, you'd have to, like, remix and adjust the way that the glitches happen so it doesn't get too dry. But I think that'd be a really funny idea. Somebody should get on that. If, you know, like, I'm not very good at video games. Give me credit if you do it. I would love the credit. Hat in Time speedrun with intentional lags. Yeah, something like that, yeah. Oh, man. Can you imagine speedrunners trying to, like, speedrun a laggy game? That'd be freaking great. And also, Happy says that I have to dip. Okie dokie. Thanks for coming in. Everybody says if you drink water, is that basically drinking yourself? How do you think a literal water being is going to keep himself hydrated? Drink. Oh, those Hat in Time speedruns are a thing? Oh, okay. I have not actually heard about that. I mean, I would personally like to have, like, you know, a custom-made, like, game built from the ground up that is literally just designed to be nothing but one gigantic glitch. I mean, I know that, like, you know, Goat Simulator is kind of like that. But it's like, it's more like glitches and lag that intentionally try and, like, stop you from progressing. Have you ever seen those TikToks with people that make fun of, like, you know, glitches in real life? And it just shows people, like, you know, running into their closet. I think it'd be fun to, like, you know, give people a simulated version of that. They recently made the lagless category the default again for any percent. Ah, really? That's weird. I didn't know about that. I'll make it with one of my friends. Neat. All right. Now, speaking of, like, you know, so I was talking about 3D printing stuff earlier. Here, I pulled up a picture. Here we go. I just recently made this, and I shared it over with a couple social medias, as well as also I shared it in the Discord. Blah, blah. Give me a second. I gotta scroll this down a bit, because it's huge. Alright. Anyway, anybody who's into woodworking and things like that might recognize what this guy is. Anyway, sorry, YouTube, I'm completely covering you up. But yeah, it's a little sand block. And I've been needing something like this because I've been doing pretty much nothing but hand sanding, and hand sanding is starting to become kind of annoying. And by starting to become kind of annoying, I mean it's been annoying full stop, and I've wanted to have like just a tool to be able to do the whole sanding thing. And so yeah, the fun thing about having a 3D printer is that when you have a problem, more often than not, you can solve that problem with 3D printer. Even if it's a 3D printer related problem. And this was a 3D printer related problem. So I went and I printed a thing to solve my 3D printer problem. And the problem, again, I want to sand some of these models down. I want to make them nice and smooth. Because, like, you know, they've got that weird texture to them, you know? The one where you can just feel where the print lines are. I want to fix that. So yeah, I found this this project online, and it was like, it was kind of a thinner version of this. However, I didn't like how thin it was. I wanted to have something a little bit more meatier and chunkier that I could like hold on to while I was like sanding and scraping. So I modified the design so that I basically doubled the width of the model, as well as I also used a modification for somebody else went in and did some modifications on this model and made a wedge design. So I used the wedge design, and also I manufactured. They're actually so. Again, when it comes to sandpaper, you judge sandpaper based on the grit count. So 180 grit. I'm trying to remember. It's like it counts like the amount of grits per a specific measurement of the sandpaper. So, you know, in this case, 180 grit sandpaper is pretty gritty sandpaper. 1,000 grit sandpaper, you're basically getting into like dust category. Like that's going to make stuff fairly smooth. Not stupidly ridiculously smooth, but fairly smooth. I think you could probably paint stuff that's like 1,000 grit. But anyway, yeah, and so those numbers on there denote like what the grit is, so that you know just how rough it is. And I think that's really cool. Light is here. Hello. And again, actually, I found out they did not have the version for 180 grit, so I went into Blender and modified that myself, and made myself a 181, which was not too hard. You got a snap on your head. I do. He's just chilling. He's having a good day. Just vibing. Enjoying himself. But anyway, yeah, quarter for scale, though. That is how big it is. It's basically just a handheld little thing. And it's nice. And yeah, it's very easy to just, like, take sandpaper, clip it in, and then it's, like, locked in place. I have it in my hands right now. You can't see it because I do not have a 3D model for it on the screen. Anyway, yeah. And it holds it in place pretty well. And I like it. I like it very much. Now, another thing that I 3D printed was I printed out a more traditional... here, I actually have it over here. I have a more traditional sander that I went and I made. And it's like a big, chunky one that's just like... Big. Big. Here, actually, hold on. I have two different halves. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Whoa there. You got two halves of coconut and you're banging them together. Anyway, so yeah, these things are, I don't know, this is basically just like a regular sander thing that, like, it gives you a nice firm grip on it and it allows you to sand stuff. That's what I was going to say. Monty Python just, like, specifically the Holy Grail just lives in my head, rent-free. That's a sound that the robot horse toy makes. Peter, the horse is here. All right. Oh, however, so you want to hear about another thing that really frustrated me? This is another one of those mild inconveniences moments that happened the other day. I was literally printing this the other day. And while I was printing it, here's a little bit fun fact. While I was getting it set up, I asked my dad some questions about, like, power and things like that, because he's a little bit better about electrical technician types of stuff than I am. I'm not ridiculously, like, inept with it. He knows a little bit more than I do. And he checked, like, what type of outlets that I had within the area, and there were a few of them in there. I'm trying to remember specifically which ones they were. I think it was like 15 amp or like 20 amp or 30 amp or something like that. Something like that. I think it's like 20 amp and 30 amp. This is going very technical. I apologize if this is going over a lot of people's heads. Basically, it kind of just tells you, like, what kind of power load that an outlet can handle, as well as also, I think it's something to do with the circuit breaker as well. Like, the circuit breaker has a specific amount of load that it can only have a certain amount of, essentially. And if you overload it, then you have a circuit breaker blow and that kind of thing. Which, you know, that's not necessarily a terrible thing, because it's trying to stop you from setting your house on fire. But at the exact same time, it's kind of annoying, because you're like, oh shoot, we've blown a fuse. Okay, well, somebody go flip the switch. So I was asking, like, you know, what outlets should I be plugging this thing into? And he came in and inspected a couple of the items that I had plugged in places, and he came to a conclusion that it would probably be a good idea for me to plug in the 3D printer into the outlet that the AC unit is plugged into. Ooh, you 3D printed snap. Nice. Cool stuff. So anyway, so yeah, he said that, like, I should probably just plug in the 3D printer where I have my AC unit plugged in. And I was just like, are you sure about that? Because that AC power plug-in is specifically designed for, like, the AC and the AC only. Like, should I be running, like, two intensive devices on the exact same circuit? And he goes, like, well, that circuit is technically a lot beefier than any of the other circuits that you have inside of this space, right? And you want to have the 3D printer here, right? So I think it would make sense just to plug it into there. I think the circuit will be able to handle it. And if it can't handle it, well, you'll know. And I was just like, okay, well, sound advice. Thanks, Dad. And so I've been 3D printing pretty much on that circuit like since I got the device, which, yeah, like it hasn't been like ridiculously warm, so I haven't needed to run the AC unit. But we're starting to move into warmer territory recently, so I have been. And so I was running the 3D printer and the AC unit, walked away for a period of time. I walked back into the room. Both were off. And I was like, oh, fug. Uh-oh. And it turned out, yeah, I blew a power thing. So, blew a fuse. So I had to reset the fuse box, and I had to go back upstairs and, you know, re-plug in where the 3D printer was. So yeah, it turns out I couldn't do that. And I called my dad. It's like, yeah, it turns out we were wrong. I don't want to say you were wrong because, hey, I didn't know any better either. But anyway, I replugged in the thing, and then I have not had this happen. I haven't had the power go out on this thing all that often. So it starts up, and it gives me this little notification that says, "It's like, would you like to do a print recovery?" And I was just like, "Print recovery? What? Oh, okay, that sounds really cool. That'd be great," because I was about 90% done on those very large sanders that I was making. These are not the sanders that I was making, by the way. I'm talking about the big ones. But yeah, I was working on... Actually, I should probably go and find a picture of the actual sanders that I was making. Just because I feel like that would punctuate things a little bit. Here, let me... I'm gonna go off to printables. That's where I've been going to for a heck of a lot of my 3D printing goodness. Because they have a lot of things there. Here, let's go to the most popular. It's like the most popular one. And I was just like, that sounds good to me. I'll grab it. I'll go for it. It's a WebP, but luckily OBS does take WebP files, so thank the Lord for that. Here, this is what I was trying to 3D print. Yeah, it's basically a really easy to handle sander that it prints in two different parts. You put sandpaper on the bottom, you screw it in, and that keeps the paper in place. And then you just go and do a whole bunch of sanding. I'm very good at describing things. So yeah, these were the things that we were trying to print. About 90% of it was done. And it sucks that, like, you know, suddenly that the power being cut means that the print is effectively kind of useless. Because it's just like, okay, cool, there's a gigantic hole in my 3D printed thing. So when I saw this recovery thing, I was like, hey, that sounds awesome. I'm going to go ahead and do the thing. So I set it into recovery mode, and it did start to move the nozzle back to where it was, lowered itself down onto the table until it, like, touched down where, like, the 3D print last was, and then it started to move around again. And I was just like, oh, okay. This might have worked out. Okay, awesome. That's cool. 30 minutes go by. By the way, yeah, 3D printing takes a long effing time. So, ow. Is in the bit colors. Unfortunately, I don't have those colors. Been nice if I would have had those. Instead, I went for, like, red and blue. Alright. I want the bit colors. I should get the bit colors. What the hell? What am I thinking? Alright. So, yeah. I came back about 30 minutes later, and this print, I think, took somewhere around 4 or 5 hours for me to do. I got back, and the print was still not done. But it was saying just like, print complete. And I'm like, what the hell? No. You made 0 progress since the power went out. What is going on? This is an incomplete print here. So I went and I checked the nozzle, and it clogged. Apparently that power outage was enough to put the nozzle out of whack and make it clog. So the entire time the 3D printer thought it was extruding, it was not extruding. So the 3D print was ruined. Again, yesterday was the day of inconveniences and frustration. It was just the bad juju day. And I was like, yep, I'm done. I've had enough. I've done my laundry. I'm surprised that the laundry machine didn't explode. Anyway. Back after more housework. Woo. Also, I found armor that is automatically in blue and orange in Destiny 2. Oh, that's cool looking. I do like that helmet. There's something very sleek. Kind of reminds me of recon armor a little bit. I don't know why. Brain constantly living in Halo. However, yeah, I redid the print and it is done. The only frustration is, again, I wasted so much freaking plastic on that other one. Gosh darn it. That filament's not cheap, man. Like, you can buy, like, an entire kilo of it for $20, but still, you could potentially fail at any point in time with your prints. So it's just like, how cheap is it really? Not to mention the electricity costs. What the fuck? I don't want to be like, you know, doing a 3D print that takes 4 hours, and then it turns out that it was all for nothing. Yay! You know? Sorry for complaining about stuff, but it's kind of like the thing. This is like, man, yesterday was annoying. I'm sure that everybody has had those days. Those days where it feels like you just can't do anything right, or like nothing will go your way. And maybe that partially might have to do with just your mindset as well. Like, partially, I think it does. Although, how the heck was I supposed to stop Amazon from calling me on that particular day? You know, well, they didn't call me, but they basically told me, "Hi, we're charging you a bunch of money." Despite the fact that I did everything. I did everything you asked, you jerkwads. So, I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't like to bring a whole lot of okay. I bring negativity more often than I probably should, honestly. But, at the very least, having conversations about negativity can help out a little bit. You know, it helps you kind of, like, compartmentalize, I guess. Or, like, contextualize everything. So you can kind of look at stuff and be like, that's why that happened. And I appreciate that. I do like when I get opportunities to be able to, you know, just think about the things that happen. Sorry if this is off topic. I feel like you might like Destiny 2 unless you played it before. Think I have an addiction help. You know, I'm sure I probably would like it. Haven't really touched Destiny 2 since I personally I remember Destiny 1 and the whole controversy involved with that, and the fact that, like, you know, they were going to have a soundtrack with Martin O'Donnell and frickin' Paul McCartney. And that unfortunately didn't happen because some things fell through. I don't even know who was the asshole in that situation. Couldn't tell you. Might have been Marty. Might have been Bungie. I don't know. But then also, like, you know, Bungie had their issues when it came to the people that were doing the writing as well, because I think a bunch of the writers left. And then just, like, I don't know. They really tripped and, like, fell on their faces when it came to Destiny 1. And I remember... I'm trying to remember, like, when was it that Bungie finally left Activision? Because from what I hear, one of the biggest things and one of the biggest reasons why people believe Bungie was... I mean, like, the operating theory is that Activision was, like, the core reason for a whole lot of their problems. Like, Bungie in and of themselves were an okay developer team. Maybe a little green behind the ears. Maybe, like, you know, they weren't 100% sure about what kind of product they were making. And they weren't sure about, like, you know, what the proper direction was going to end up being. But, you know, they were a pretty decent developer at heart, and they definitely wanted to make something good. Like, they didn't want to make any sort of trash that nobody would like. But the problem was that, you know, their publisher was frickin' Activision. And the problem with having a publisher of Activision is that Activision makes you make a whole lot of really terrible decisions, especially when it comes to money. I still remember the stories about when Activision finally, like, cut ties with Bungie. I don't remember what it was. There was some controversy that happened where, like, Bungie basically said, like, hey, we want to have full rights over our property again. And, like, I know we currently have ourselves slated for another 6 years of a relationship, but I feel it's not working out. Please allow us to let go. And I think, like, Activision basically said, yeah, you're not really making us any money. Sure, get out of here, take the Destiny brand, whatever. And I remember distinctly, like, there were stories of the fact that, like, that day, there were people that were popping bottles of champagne afterwards, just being like, yay, we're rid of the demons. And to be fair, now Bungie has not, like, you know, it's not like they haven't made bad decisions after the fact. Like, of course they did. But they've been making less. As well as also, it seems like they are actually interested in making something of worth. Especially, you know, when it comes to Destiny. And making it free to play probably was a good move in that it did allow for more people to jump on board that might necessarily not have had money. So, I have a villager on my new island named Pierce. He's cool. Oh, man. Yeah, I remember the name Pierce. Who was Pierce? Been too long since I've played Animal Crossing. But I remember the name Pierce. I mean, I remember Pierce, the person. Also, I currently have the failed version of the 3D printed, like, sander block. It's a nice fidget toy. Spin! It's fun looking. Oh, speaking of annoying noises, I'm having a ball with my 3D printer, I swear to fuck. I also 3D printed this thing. It is it's a clicker wheel, and that is literally all it does. It's just a fidget toy that clicks. Hey, that's it. Here, can I do it nice and slow? Oh, hold on. Ooh. Hold on a second. It's time for a round of bit ASMR. I don't know whether or not that sets off anybody's asthma, but... The grinding, I knew it. The grinding! I also have a little fidget spinner thing. It's a fidget spinner, but it's made out of gears. Is this how you do content? Is this how you win the internet? Why not? Let's bring back in this this little spinny boy for the lulz. And his big brother. Oh. And then there's the ghost slinky. I think this bit needs to stop. In more ways than one. There we go. The grinding. Friggin' love that. No, you're a mime. I don't have 3D models of every single one of these things ready to go. I have the 3D models. I just don't have them on my person. That would take effort and work. And I don't do that. Oh, and one thing that's a little less, like, visual. That made my... Wait, that made my brain real quiet. I hope in a good way. I'm about 20 million bills in debt. Please don't. That's a terrible thing to say. just like, I don't have any money for food. Stop it. Have money. Anyway, I have this little thing here. It is like... So, it basically, there's a way that you can make... You can make like a 3D model or like a 3D shape. And then you can tell your, whatever machine you have to basically only make the outer walls of whatever the 3D shape is. And it's real freaking neat. Honestly, I want to experiment a little bit with it. Because one thing that I have tried is I tried to print out this like little snowflake thing. It's basically, it looks like just a, standard snowflake. Except like it's also reversible. And so like it turns into a different snowflake when you reverse it. And it's neat because it's really thin plastic and it does like, I don't know. I've made a lot of fidget toys. Okay, I'm having a little bit of a ball with that. Also, time for another round of grindy. This thing makes some interesting creaking noises when it's in the secondary version. Ooh. Another round of bit ASMR. Another thing I know is that they make overcomplicated lore that my ADHD pea brain can barely comprehend. I mean, I remember I played a lot of Halo, and the Halo lore can get crazy. It's just a matter of how much do you want to functionally look at it. You know? Like, how badly do you want to know about the individual lore of some of the crazy, creepy creatures that you can find in the Halo universe? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. What was one of the things, like, I'm trying to remember. I seem to remember one of the things that kind of put me off from playing the original Destiny was that the damage system in that game didn't seem similar at all to Halo. Or at least, like, not completely. Now, correct me if I'm entirely wrong about this, because maybe they've changed this in Destiny 2, and who knows. But, regular characters that you would be fighting in Halo 2, or actually, basically in any of the Halo games, they would have, like, specific soft spots, basically. Like, if you shot them in those soft spots, they would go down a heck of a lot faster. So, if you shot somebody in the head, they would lose a hell of a lot more damage than if you, like, just shot them in the chest or, like, shot them in the leg. And I always thought, like, that was really fun for me. I like me, like, finding out. And also, on top of that, they didn't make it 110% clear about what the weak point was on the enemy. It was just a case of, like, you need to figure that out. Hey! There's Evan and Raccoon! And also, that was supposed to make a sound effect. That's weird. Scuttle, scuttle. Hello! So how was Sonic? Was Sonic the fun? Oh, Jesus. Sally Hedgehog, 2199. Thank you! I appreciate that. They said make it that. Hello! No, again, I hope Sonic was good. I saw that you were trying to set up your bird Sona. And he's cool looking. I know that I've seen some pictures of Burn Soda on Twitter a couple of times when you've been sharing it, and he looks nice. The person that made it, they are lovely. I did indeed enjoy Sonic the Fun. What is it? It's Sonic Forces, because the Sonic Forces you're able to like make your own OC. I remember that. Trying to remember. I don't know if I was ever interested in playing Sonic Forces specifically. That one, yeah. Hey. I know, like, so one game that I really badly wanted to play was Sonic Frontiers. I'm still not really keen on that because I'm a filthy PC gamer. And I like to play my PC types of games. And you can get Sonic Frontiers on PC, but my problem is that it comes bundled with De Nouveau. And Sega specifically has got this really bad habit of releasing their games with De Nouveau and then not removing it later. Meaning that, like, so basically, if a pirate comes around and cracks De Nouveau, they get to play the game completely scot-free without any problems. Meanwhile, anyone that has a genuine copy of a video game, they have to deal with De Nouveau. Especially if Sega doesn't get rid of it, they have to deal with De Nouveau forever. Like, no! Stop it! It's like, Steam already has the DRM built into the browser. I don't need to have 10 levels of DRM. De Nouveau is actually a new word to me. De Nouveau? I don't know. It's a curse when it comes to anything PC related. Though, I seem to remember Devin and Rock, you played specifically the Switch version, if I remember right. It's fine. Consoles didn't end up getting something like that, so you're good. You're safe. For people that don't know what De Nouveau is, it's basically another form of anti-piracy and, like, you know, software protection to make sure that they don't get cracked and then distributed out to people for free on the internet. And I totally get that. Like, people need to make their money. Okay, I'm not anti like companies making money. No. It's when I feel like it's not necessary to have something like De Nouveau, and I genuinely don't think that there is. I don't know. Literally Googling it, I have never heard of that. People like me. Raccoons. Speaking of which, I just remembered something. Do you remember when I was talking about this, one of my other casual streams, everybody? I was talking about how my dad went underneath the deck because he needed to go grab an air hose for an air compressor for a thing that he's working on. And when he went underneath the deck, he found an absolute load of animal droppings. And he was just like, why? How? Why? Where? Who? At first, he thought that it was like a neighborhood dog that was just trying to, like, sneak through and, like, leave droppings and then leave. But on closer inspection to the security cameras that he's got, he went and he checked those. Late at night, at around, like, 3 o'clock, around that time every single night, he gets a little bit of a visitor. I'm lucky Rock is potty trained. Are we sure he's potty trained completely? No, I'm not going to assume that. Anyway, yeah. Apparently it's a raccoon. Which is weird because he's never seen any raccoons within that area. But yeah, there's a little raccoon that comes out. And the reason why is my parents recently got a bird feeder. And apparently this raccoon found it. And late at night, he sneaks over. He goes over to the bird feeder and, like, grabs the bottom of it and, like, pulls it up to him and just starts snacking on nuts. It's adorable. Like, to be fair, you look at this raccoon and you're just like, oh, keep snacking, buddy. Keep snacking. However, we also don't want to have, like, you know, random raccoon squatter that's, like, you know, leaving turds underneath our, you know, the deck. So, yeah. Unfortunately, and also that food is literally for the birds. So, yeah, couldn't really leave that. So my father did adjust that and move the bird feeder so that it was farther away, so that it would be harder for any animals aside from birds to be able to grab from it. Very lucky it's just one because they usually make a community latrine out of wherever they decide to go. Yay! Well, that's pretty much exactly why he's like fixing this so that it doesn't become more than just one. Like he kind of wants to just cut off any chance whatsoever that any large amounts of food could be available to this raccoon. But anyway, he went and he checked the security camera the night afterwards that he did this little adjustment on the bird feeder. And you could see the raccoon walks up the stairs, walks like over to where the bird feeder is, and then like looks out where normally it would be grabbing snacks at this point, but it's really far away. And then like the raccoon's just like, what? Visibly he's like really confused, and he's like looking back over to the house, just like, what? And he's totally, you could tell that he's just like, what did you do? Why'd you move the thing? And he's like reaching over, like, but he can't reach he can only reach like the top of it. He can't really like reach the bottom where all the seeds are going then. And we're all just like, oh, if it weren't for the fact that we would have an entire school of raccoons, we would totally feed them. We gotta work that out, man. But that was cute. That was great. I don't know. I saw some pictures on my dad's phone. I don't think I have any on my. Let me check real quick. If I do have pictures on my phone, I might not share them just because I'm incredibly wary when it comes to sharing any pictures that might like, be directly connected to anybody that I know. The doxing and all that. No, I don't think I got any texts. All right. I do have like a group text with a whole bunch of my parents and my brothers and stuff. So, okay. Well, I don't have any pictures, but yeah, that was my interesting raccoon story. Also, if it weren't for the fact that a lot of raccoons are, they're adorable, sweet creatures, but also you have to worry a little bit about bites. So. If I didn't have to worry about bites, I absolutely would pet. I would pet. Don't you know? Also, PSX Memes is here. Hello, how are you doing? Doing pretty good. I'm talking about a raccoon. I could try to find, there's one picture of like, no, I'm not going to find it. There is a stray cat that's like kind of stray, but not really. Basically, it's like, one of the neighborhood houses owns the cat. Like, it used to be stray, but then they decided to kind of like formally adopt the cat. But the cat's kind of a wild child, so the cat just kind of lives outdoors anyways. I know that like I got some pictures of that cat, and every once in a while, cat comes running through the neighborhood, and if you're there at the right time, you can give that cat a pet, and that cat is super friendly. They're usually way too scared to bite. One would be lucky to even get that close. But better safe than sorry. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Doesn't help that, again, they tended to be traveling at night, so you're probably completely out cold at the time, so. But wouldn't that be nice? Smart little thief, yes. Also, hello, Amp Gaming. How you doing? Also, you're eating ice cream! What flavor? Please explain. I need to know. I need to live vicariously through somebody else. Give me the flavor profile. What's my favorite flavor of ice cream? That's a good question. What's everybody else's here? I'm sure I've asked this question before, but we got some fresh faces in here, and I think I would like to hear you guys' answer. For me, I think I kind of lean towards mint chocolate chip. Mint chocolate chip is freaking great. Anybody that says that mint anything tastes like toothpaste, I reject that. I forget where I originally heard this, but I agree with this. Mint doesn't taste like toothpaste. Toothpaste tastes like mint. Okay? There's a difference. There's a difference. You're uncultured. That's what's happening. mint chocolate chip as base is good. Man, the combination is just so amazing. You know, just like sort of a fudginess, sort of like rich taste of the chocolate mixed in with like the cooling taste of the mint in the mouth. It's amazing. I love it. It's either that or I kind of like vanilla chocolate swirl, something like that, or vanilla and then you add chocolate sauce to the thing. That's a good flavor too. Kid says vanilla. Nothing wrong with vanilla. Vanilla's good. Kind of. Oh man, this just reminds me. I haven't had a root beer float in a while. That's something I should think about. Ooh. It's good stuff, man. What other flavors of ice cream have I had that I was just like, oh my god? Oh, you know, one thing I don't think I talked about this. Might have talked about it like, you know, way back when I had originally taken the vacation. This was 2 years ago. I feel so guilty. I was making a vacation video and then life got in the way and I got distracted by a bunch of other projects. But I took a vacation about like 2 years ago, out to San Francisco, and that place is fun. They got some good stuff there. It's expensive though. And one of the places I went to, I actually went down to the Ghirardelli Square because I like chocolate. I know that my mom really likes chocolate, and I knew that I wanted to, 1, eat chocolate, and 2, get a souvenir for my mom involved with chocolate. So, stopped down there. I went down to Ghirardelli Square, and there is specifically a Ghirardelli, basically it's an ice cream parlor. I forget if they sell anything else that isn't ice cream. But, yeah, they definitely have ice cream. And so I got myself a hot fudge sundae, and it was just as good as you think it was. But the problem is I ate the whole thing. I ate the whole thing. I felt dead by the end of it. Like, partial regret. But also, I'm on vacation. So, whatever. That worked out. You know. My stomach hurted a little bit. Like, a couple hours afterwards. But I recovered. I'm good. I lived. But yeah, I stopped off over there, and then I picked up a couple of different souvenirs. I believe I got a couple of things. One, I got a little a keychain with a sundae on it to remind me of the bad decision that I made that day. And also, I got my mom something really special. It was a apparently you can get a couple of these things. I guess there's just a manufacturer down there that makes these little souvenirs for a whole lot of the places there. There exists a souvenir in San Francisco of railway carts. They're like wooden railway carts, and all of them have got different branding on each of them. So in the case of the Ghirardelli place, you can find one that has Ghirardelli chocolate on it, as well as also the inside is completely hollow, meaning that whoever is selling these things can stuff them with whatever they're currently selling. So you get a Ghirardelli rail cart with Ghirardelli chocolate in it. And it's freaking great. And it tastes amazing. Although, you know, it's just Ghirardelli chocolate, so you can get that anywhere. But you can't get the rail cart everywhere. But, I mean, the reason why rail cart, you know, it's a classic thing with San Francisco. You know, the railway carts and, you know, people riding the tram. Boy, I've been going on for like an hour and a half, and I've been going this long without any sort of a Discord call. Jesus. I had a lot to talk about today. That kind of shows you what happens when I don't have streams for a couple of days, and I get like all antsy and nothing's going on. Anyway. Is there anything else that I should be bringing up? Anything that's, like, recently gone on here that I should probably be talking about? Probably something. I don't really remember entirely. I'm just happy to be doing streaming. Let me, we still have had some interesting drop frame moments. Oh, it looks like we did just recently have a weird performance issue. I want to get in touch with my ISP so bad. I want to talk with somebody. I want somebody to come out here and help with that. Because I cannot stream under these conditions. Now again, normally I have a good ISP. You know? Like, you know, all ISPs are kind of inherently evil in their own ridiculous way. But, like, I have one that's okay. It's one of those, like, you know what? You are allowed to live kind of things. Where it's just like, if I had to... Basically, if I had to move to a different, like, state, I would be... One of the things that I would be thinking about is, does this ISP exist in this state? That, seriously. Because if I had to, like, move out to a state where it was literally no other choice, just being like, well, guess what? You literally only get Xfinity and nothing else. I'd be crying or, like, deciding not to go. One of the two. At some point, this will be fixed, I'm sure, though. This can't go on forever! Man, I feel like there's something else that I'm missing here. Let me check here. Let me check my phone, actually. Oh, yeah, I have a new picture of the boy. Why not? Let's show off the cat. Oh, yeah, if you're in the Discord, you have probably already seen this picture because I posted it over there. There we go. What format is this in, by the way? Let me see. Oh, it is WebP. Interesting. I didn't know Discord stored things in WebP format. Well, regardless. What? Why are you tiny? Oh, wait. No, it's not tiny. I don't think so. No, it's tiny. Why grainy picture? Discord, why you do? Ah, well, regardless. Looks clear enough. Look at the boy! God, he's gotten so handsome. Ridiculously. I still remember when he was a kitten. That was only like a year and a half ago. But my God. And by the way, for anybody who is curious, this is like, I believe it's like a tabby and a Maine Coon, if I remember correctly. Which is really interesting. Because, like, it's mostly tabby cat. Like, most of this is tabby cat. But then you get, like, the tiny little highlights of Maine Coon in it. And it's weird. It's like you have, like, a little micro Maine Coon in your house. It's great. My folks are so lucky. They get to hang out with this little sucker all the time. Although he's still a ball of friggin' energy, though. Kidding! Yeah, right. Hey, it's a kitty. Hello, Savannah. Yeah, no, like, I'm not kidding when I say, like, getting a good, solid picture of this cat, like, just sitting and doing nothing is tough. Because, like, this cat is still, like, all kinds of jittery and loves to just run around. I don't think it's, like, a nervous thing. I think this cat is just, like, super energetic. He's young, man. He's... Young man. There's no need to feel that. Shut up. Oh, I suppose I should say, Happy Pride Month, everybody. Speaking of the village people. I don't know if that's like offensive or anything. I don't know. I mean, the village people, they were never, like, officially out. But you just kind of look at the village people, and, like, you're just like, no. This is flamboyant as hell. We know what's up. We know what's going on. What's been going on lately? I talked about it a little bit during the earlier part of the stream, but yeah, yesterday I skipped stream for a couple of reasons. One, because, I mean, we're having internet-related problems on Saturdays, so I just figured, no, wah. I had, like, you know, something really low tier, or like, actually, no, not low tier, low maintenance. I had something like kind of low maintenance that wasn't super important going on. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm not going to try that. Mostly because I was having one of those days where it just felt like nothing was going right. And I kept on getting like, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, just when you think you've been punched in the balls enough, suddenly you get punched in the balls a fourth time. Or a fifth. That was kind of my day yesterday. So I did. Was it? Hold on. I really should look up that one video and take a listen to it. Yeah, where is it? I'm gonna go listen to it real quick. There we go. Mute this guy. Okay, this comes courtesy of Masood Boomgard. Bad Days Self-Help.
When you have a bad day, give up. Go home and sleep. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Try again tomorrow. Not every bad day can become a good day. Some days are fucked and cannot be unfucked. When you have a day that is fucked beyond repair, that is the universe speaking to you, sending you a message. Listen to the universe. Go home. Save your energy. Tomorrow is another day. For now, just fucking chill.
That is amazing. I love that advice. And I feel more people need to follow it. Just like, you know what? Some days you kind of just have to shrug and be like, you know what? I give up. We're done. Today is done. And also, just to be fair, we're going to go ahead and post this over in the chats. Oh, shoot. Hold on a second. I posted big URL. I don't want big URL. I want smaller URL. There, get your funny internet cookies out of here. Internet tracking, get up. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of what my day was yesterday. It's just like, fuck it, go home and sleep. Which I did. I ended up, I did a heck of a lot of laundry that day. And then I also, I did my bedding along with it. I have returned with a cursed cat, Alistair. Wow. Is that your cat's name? That's adorable. I definitely did need that sleep, though. Because I believe the day before, I only got around like 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And there's one thing you got to know about me. If I don't get my full sleep, I am completely dysfunctional. Okay, well, not completely dysfunctional. I'll function. I just won't be happy about it. I'll basically just be like, ew, no. Enough being, no. Living is too hard. Must go to a dreamland now. Oh, search it up and you'll know. Do I want to search that up? That's the thing. Doing a heckin' stretch. There we go. I had a tornado in my area a little bit ago. Oh, God, I hope you're okay. I mean, the fact that you're messaging to me kind of tells me that you're doing fairly all right. Tornadoes are no joke, man. I know a lot of people say, like, oh, whatever. Tornado's a tornado. At least, you know, you're not living in hurricane zone. You're not living in, the earthquake zone. If you've actually had to deal with a tornado at any point, or even worse, if you have like a friend or a loved one that has had to deal with the aftermath of what happens when a tornado touches down on your house, yeah, you'd be changing your tone. Your tune would be like, they're no joke, man. Tornadoes can absolutely fudge you up, completely destroy you. Got lucky? Oh, that's creepy. In general, it seems like the weather has been interesting as of like late. I keep hearing stories about like people that are having these crazy freaking tornadoes. I haven't had anything like super really crazy. It's mostly been okay. What's the daily forecast look like for me? Looks pretty normal. Oh, although the heat is rising, because I'm looking at this, and yeah, we got like pretty considerable like 80-degree kind of things. I might search that up later, Nova. I think we can officially say that we're starting to move into summer territory. That sucks. I feel like we only just recently started spring. I want more spring, man. Like, I want spring weather. I want, like, or spring or fall. One of the two. I want jacket weather. Well, okay. Fall is a little bit more jacket weather. Spring is more like, ah, yes, finally, we're free. We can finally get into the t-shirts and hold our arms out with, you know, open arms. Yes, finally, it's fresh outside. Is it weird that oh, hold on a second. Let me refresh this real quick. Is it weird that I like winter because I eat snow? I mean, I guess it depends on where you're getting that snow. Like, don't eat snow that's been sitting there for like a week. Because you don't know what has covered it, that, you know, that could be like tire tar. The floor. No! It's not coming from the floor. You don't know where that snow's been. I will eat snow, but only like snow that I know 100% for certain has freshly fallen that day. If it has not fallen that day, I put my foot down and say, nope, not a tasty treat. Snow is snow. Snow is also urine sometimes. You do not want to eat the urine. Don't do it. Snow is also all the dirt that happened to also get kicked up on it. Snow is also, well, animal droppings, but I didn't want to go there. Raccoon droppings. Yay! I'm still laughing about the fact that my dad has a raccoon. Not actually, for people who just came into the chat. He's got a raccoon, like, in his backyard. It's the craziest thing. Never seen or dealt with any sort of raccoon-related thing, ever. And now just suddenly, here one is. It's weird. I mean, I do feel like, you know, when you're living a little bit closer to the country, which my dad is, you get that sometimes. Like, you never really know what year is, you know, what's going to be swept into your yard from one year to the next. One year, it could be like you have an infestation of mosquitoes. And then another year, you've just got a lot more deer as of late. And then another year, you have raccoons. And then like another year, I don't know, wood ticks. I don't know. It's just like, you never really know. Honestly, that's kind of really an interesting thing about nature. The ebbs and the flows. Stuff just goes wherever it needs to go. Also, it kind of goes wherever human beings haven't fucked it up. Snow is water. Again, I refuse. I refuse this. Snow is a combination of whatever the sky had and whatever also hit it. It's not like you're getting a snow cone from a machine where you know all that was in it was like just water. No. There's more to it than that. You do not want to have nature's snow cone, you know, nature's snow cone that also has the fun yellow syrup in it. Okay? I guess, like, for me, definitely one of my favorite seasons is fall. Just because, like, I like the colors. I like the smell and the crispness of the air. You know, that delicious smell of all the plants dying. And also, all of the little asshole bugs that were, you know, messing with me during the summer, they're all, like, starting to hibernate and, like, hide away. And I like that a lot. Nova has returned. Hello! Did you get a snow cone? Oh, man. I don't have a lot of places around here that even do stuff like snow cones and stuff. I mean, let me try and think. I mean, I know some places that have ices, but man, ices is like a specific kind of, like, that's not really a snow cone. An icy is an icy. I put ice in a blender. Hey, you're halfway there. I think, so there's ices. It's like, I guess slushy is kind of a similar thing. But then you got, like, yeah, snow cones, which that's technically like, no, that's like shaved ice kind of thing. And then you have flavor drizzled on it. I will eat the blender. Will it blend? That is the question. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Is that guy still doing stuff? I just thought about that. It's been years since I've had a reason to think about the Blendtec blender, dude. That was a genius marketing scheme. Holy crap. That's one of those things where, like, even if you don't usually use a blender, suddenly you want to buy a blender. It's just like, well, can I take these action figures and blend them up? What about an iPhone? I remember how, like, revolutionary and crazy it was that the Blendtec blender guy blended an iPhone. Everyone was just like, dude, that's expensive. What are you doing? Stop it. Now you just know that meme. Crispy, juicy, tender. I just put my newborn son into a blender. Yep, I remember that one. Friggin' hell, man. Now, for people that don't know, again, there was a show called Will It Blend, and that is literally basically all it was. It was just a dude that owned a blender company, had the idea for an interesting marketing scheme where he just put a random thing in a blender and blended it. Problem is, you know, you eventually run out of ideas for things that you can throw in a blender and blend. And, like, it stops being interesting after a while. Snap versus blender. Pretty sure Snap would just, like... Snap would... I think Snap would, like, snap the blades of the blender. It's just like... Tick. He's tougher than that. Will it blend? Snab. Uh-oh. Nope. Not only will it not blend him, but now Snab has got tiny little knives to slice people with. Because he cut up the blades. And now he's coming for you! Snatcher versus Blender. Oh, Snatcher, 20%. Actually 200, rather. 200%. Snatcher would definitely, like, win against the Blender. Well, what if the Blender was blending, like, I don't know, a blueberry smoothie? If he gets any on him, maybe he'd be in trouble. Possibly. This has been a an interesting stream. Again, I didn't do any voice call related stuff, but I don't think I needed it. It was pretty comfy. And we had some interesting frame drops, but nothing like intensive, so that's good news. I'm glad for that. Blender versus Blender. Oh no, these are actually funny enough. Did Blendtec ever do that? Did Blendtec ever like come up with a way to blend a blender? They must have. That's too obvious of an idea. They had to have come up with that. You can probably figure it out. Now, it was that show, and also I remember this show, Is It a Good Idea to Microwave This? Which it's kind of a very similar racket where just a bunch of guys who like recorded themselves putting stuff in the microwave and then started the microwave and then just saw what happened. And they microwaved all sorts of random crap. And usually it was a bad idea. Put a stuffed animal in the microwave. I think I remember that. And you lost the stuffed animal. So, you know, ripping pepperoni. I'm trying to even remember, like, what is on the Wally plushie that would have even caught fire? I don't think so. I don't know. It's hard to say. Because, like, the way that microwaves work is that they work to, like, vibrate the molecules of whatever it is that is inside the microwave and make it really, really warm. The tag caught fire? It's weird. I'm just trying to think, like, I was trying to think if there are any metallic items inside that thing. But I don't know. I guess anything can potentially catch on fire if you make it hot enough. Yeah, don't microwave random things. Just don't do it. It's not a good idea. Anywho, yeah, I think we've had a long enough stream here, and I just kind of want to vibe for the rest of the night, so I think now I'm going to finish things up. This has been nice. This is nice and, like, you know, relaxing and low-key, which is exactly what I needed tonight. Yeah, don't do that. Don't put Jesus. Although I do know it's interesting that the way that you cook lobster, especially if you want them nice and fresh, is you put that sucker in living. What? Bye. Hey, Gonk, how you doing? Just got here. I'm finishing some things up, but I will talk about my, you know, what I'm planning on doing for the next week. I think it's going to be a lot more of the same. I will be doing more Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow on Wednesday. And then I swear, I really, really badly want to try and do another stream on Saturday. If for no other reason, I want to do another stress test and see whether or not we keep having performance problems. Like, I'm not going to be able to really test that until I try it. So, very scary. Oh. So, made a Snab dog toy for my dog. Aw, that's cute. Does Snab have a tiny little squeaker toy in him? If not, please do. I think that'd be cute and funny. Anyway, so, yes, I will attempt to try and do a stream at some point here next Saturday. Probably it's going to be Binding of Isaac, because that's a good, like, good chill game that you don't necessarily have to worry about, like, story beats. 7 squeakers? Why do I get the feeling you're lying? 1 is sufficient. You don't need 7? That is an obnoxious little squeaker. And then, again, we're going to be stopping by again for a casual stream next Sunday, and I hope to see you guys there. For now, I am just going to relax and kind of just vibe for the rest of the night and enjoy myself. 1 for each leg and the stomach. That's funny. Binding Isaac to bind. All right. Now again, starting to feel the drowsiness, and my sleep schedule is actually reasonable right now, so I'm probably just going to go off and head off to bed. So thanks for coming out to the stream. He's been nice. I'm gonna take off. See you later. Good night and goodbye. Hey. Ah.